Hello and welcome back to Bets in Bed. This week we got a nice little Fight Night card. I believe this is UFC Fight Night Fortaleza, also known as UFC on ESPN Plus 2, which is, they really need to do something about the name.
Or UFC Fight Night 144. I think there's 3 names.
I don't even know. Follow one of the hashtags. But we actually have a low...
That's the most annoying part. Low-key. There's no... It's hard to keep track of people that are making funny shit because there's 4 hashtags on every fight card.
Couldn't have said it better myself. It is so annoying. They need to whittle down the name somehow and get it right. Anyways, we got, I think the headliner for this one is...
Moraes and Assuncao.
Moraes and Assuncao. So kind of a slap in the face to Jose Aldo, seeing that he's been the
Big
face...
slap in the face.
He's been the face of Brazil for the longest time, loses his title, and they just shun him to the co-main event.
Getting him out the paint.
But still, seems like a good card. So without further ado...
We also have Super Bowl this week. Don't forget that.
That is true. We're going to be ending on
my favorite part.
some Super Bowl bets. So, without further ado, let's jump right into it. Nick, how many bets do you got?
I got 3 things on the card this week for the fights. I have 3.
I got 5,
bets.
so I'll start first. Yeah, I didn't have a great start last week, so
Still got that new money feel.
Yep.
Still got that new year, new me feel.
Exactly. So for my first pick, and I have a feeling you're going to have this on your card too. I'm picking against Brazilian, a former great fighter and not so great fighter anymore, Thiago Alves. I think that Max Griffin is going to destroy him. Thiago Alves isn't that great anymore.
He's broken.
Yeah, let's put it that way. Yeah, he's only 34 years old, but he's got some miles on him. I think Max Griffin's just the younger, more athletic fighter, and he's probably going to clip him. My guess would be second round TKO.
What are the odds that you get on that?
That is minus 195.
Minus 190. See, okay, so when I was looking at that, it was above -2. That's actually not on my card. Shocker. Oh. I normally, basically, I think the last 4 or 5 Thiago Alves, I haven't even looked at the line. I've just put it in because I just know he's going to lose. I didn't have that on the card just because I know he beat Mike Perry. I don't know why something doesn't... He should win. I don't feel like Thiago Alves is going to spring an upset here, but for over -2, I wasn't vibing with that value. But I don't argue with the pick. I mean, at this point, betting against Thiago Alves is very safe money.
It could have been minus 250. I still would have taken it.
Yeah, yeah. I actually out of my 3, I got 2 they're kind of props. Actually, not a ton of matchups that I loved, but I loved the value you're getting for props. So I understand that this is a polarizing pick. I think that some people are going to be way on one. There's nobody that's like, oh, I think it's going to be competitive. This is going to be a whitewash one way or the other. I've got Damian Maia by submission at plus 165 coming in. He's on a 3-fight losing streak. That was UFC punishment for just a career of either killing contenders or boring fights because he fought, who was it? It was Woodley, Usman, and Covington. I don't think it was in that order. I actually think it went Woodley, Covington, Usman. Yeah. But that's just 3 giant loads of Damian Maia kryptonite to the face.
Yeah, great wrestlers.
Yeah, he's going to lose those matchups. Now, Lyman Good, the only thing I'm nervous about here is Lyman Good hulking out of takedowns, and Damian Maia, he is 41, but I also, knowing full well that Damian Maia will not be receiving it. I could see him just being like, fuck it. He just did jiu-jitsu. He probably didn't even train striking. Just went to jiu-jitsu in the gi, for this camp. And if he just can't get a takedown in the first round, I could see Lyman Good just plaster, obliterating him very, very quickly. However, I'm trusting, Lyman Good for being a great athlete, powerful striker, absolute unit of a fucking human being. A defensive savant in wrestling, he is not. So if Damian Maia just starts chain wrestling singles, once this hits the ground, I just think it's over. I'm looking for either, I could see it as early as late round 1 or a second round sub. Damian Maia, I like that.
Yeah, I was thinking about taking Damian Maia, but like you said, I think Lyman Good is definitely better on the feet, as well as I think Damian Maia has looked better with his hands. But 41 years old, the boxing's not going to be great. If he's smart, stick to the ground, honestly try to submit him. It's his best game plan.
I literally
to try
just
to end
don't think,
I
think it's going to be shameless. It's going to be the shameless diving for takedowns. I just, Tyron Woodley laughs at that shit. Somehow Colby Covington laughs at that shit. But you got powerhouse wrestlers like Woodley and Usman, and then somehow lumping Colby Covington into that company. But I'm thinking when, like, I don't know that Lyman Good's got that shuck ability, so I just think as soon as Damian Maia can, like, get tied up, like, it's going to be desperation, but I think if they tie up once or twice, that's all they're going to need to
not bad.
close
not
the
bad.
show.
All right, well, for my next pick, this guy's a new, UFC newcomer, but I've already fallen in love with him. He's a complete psychopath. I like Johnny Walker here. I don't really know too much about Justin Ledet.
Flat earther.
Oh, is he a flat? Oh,
He's a flat earther.
Even better.
That's all you need to know about him.
Yeah, because Walker's gonna flatline him. I'm taking him not only by TKO at plus 230, but I'm taking him to win at minus 135.
I'm astonished that that's plus 230 by the TKO.
For TKO, yeah. I think Walker's, it was like TKO, decision, TKO. My only fear here is that Ledet has quite a few losses to submissions. It does like 5 losses to submissions in his last, like, I don't know, in his like 15 fights, or maybe I'm exaggerating here because he might not even have that many losses. I just looked up Sherdog and there was a ton of submissions, so I'm scared it's gonna be like a rear naked choke or something. But I have a feeling that Walker's so crazy he's going to look to make a statement here and just keep pounding his face in. So I'm double downing on that one. Love it.
Okay. That's good. I also don't have that on my card. We got a lot of different ones this week. So my second one is going to be another prop. I'll save the only pick for the end. But second prop at minus 185, Charles Oliveira, David Tamer does not go to a decision.
Oh.
Here's the thing. I get that Oliveira looks a little sturdier at 155. However, he just seems like a guy that David Tamer could flatline. And the other thing, if I had to pick a winner of this fight, I probably would pick Oliveira. I don't think he's going to get... David Tamer, for some reason, like, people kind of dog his wrestling, and I mean, Oliveira's got pretty good wrestling, but I would say Oliveira and Nick Lentz are probably about the same caliber. Wrestler, not grappler. Wrestler, just straight up shoot a double, get you down. They're comparable in class, and Tamer worked Nick Lentz. So I think he gets a little dogged on his scrambling ability. I think Oliveira needs like 1 or 2 chances to jump guillotine, and then he's one of the guys that I actually trust jumping a guillotine. That's like my most hated move in MMA, when somebody gets rocked and they try to go for a guillotine instead of just continuing to obliterate someone. Charles Oliveira is a guy that I do not have any disdain towards for doing that because he actually finishes them.
Yeah, it's so like him and Brian Ortega.
Yeah, so I think that he doesn't need that big of an opening. So at any point in any round, he could pull a sub. Or I like David Tamer. I mean, because if he doesn't get that opening and he's forced to stand and kickbox with David Tamer, I think he's going to be getting teed off on the entire time. So I think we're either looking at Oliveira probably early sub and wild scramble while everyone's going nuts, or Tamer's just going to break him down and close the show later in the fight. That's kind of where my thought process is there. And it just doesn't strike me as a decision fight. It's in Brazil. Tamer's got a long travel. It just doesn't strike me as a decision fight. At minus 185, we're going inside the distance.
Yeah, I was curious to where you would stand on that, just because, Oliveira is just first team, no heart. Like he is one of the guys.
He's on a 3-fight win streak. Like he looks like I don't know if gaining weight back to 155, he's grown a heart.
Yeah, maybe he might have, but like I like that because I think he's the better. Like his best is better than Tamer's best, but if he can't put him away early, he's gonna crumble. So I do like there's gonna be like a third round TKO. Yeah. If it goes to the third round, I don't think Oliveira's making out of it. He's quitting beforehand because he's a guy that just has no shame in like, a loss is a loss to that guy. I
forgot what fight that was, but there was one fight where he just kind of came out in the second round after he couldn't get a sub, and he just looked like he's like, fuck it, man.
Yeah, he's like, I didn't get a first.
Taking a dive.
He wants, like I think, what was it? No Hands said it best. He wants to be a bully. He wants to go in there. He wants to push you around. If that doesn't work, he's like, all right, I'm out.
See ya.
No, that's good. What was the odds on that?
Minus 185.
Yeah, that's pretty good. Damn, for it to not go to decision, so they're really banking on it.
I was surprised. That's actually like my steepest bet on the card. Oh, just kidding. One of my Super Bowl ones is more of a lock. But other than that, I was surprised. I was kind of surprised it was that steep, but I'm not. I mean, I think that's like you just said. I mean, I don't understand how it could go any different.
I might just take 2 different prop bets, just like Oliveira by submission and Tamor by TKO and see what that comes out.
Take ends inside the distance, ends out as a decision. See what happens.
Can't lose, man. A wash is a win.
A wash is a win.
All right, for my next pick, I went back and forth on this one. If I was to bet, this is going to be the co-main event, so Jose Aldo versus Renato Moicano. If I was betting with my heart here, I would bet Moicano. I like him a lot better. A long time I have expressed my disdain for Jose Aldo. Not taken away from his fight skills, just I am so tired of the Jose Aldo narrative. But this has like everything written on the wall that Jose Aldo should lose. He said he's retiring soon. He's come off a couple like those Max Holloway losses. Those are the type of losses that breaks a man. Like, yeah, he's looked good against Jeremy Stevens, but this has like, I don't know, all the momentum is on Moicano's side, but that's given me every reason to bet on Jose Aldo because he's just that son of a bitch that would just like screw me over. He's the old dog that just keeps like turning
shitting
down
on the floor.
That he keeps putting all the young prospects in their place. Although I like Moicano, I don't think he's ever fought a fighter on Jose Aldo's level.
He fought Brian Ortega.
Well, that's true, but like, and he was winning that fight too. But
Brian Ortega would scrape Jose Aldo today.
I guess it is. I'm like going back to like what was it? Was it Lando Venata that he fought?
You're thinking maybe
no, Calvin Kattar. Calvin Kattar. Yeah, when that fight, that was a very competitive. Well, not very competitive, but it seemed like Kattar did give him some trouble, and Jose Aldo, if he was having some trouble with Calvin Kattar, he's definitely going to have a harder time with Jose Aldo. So this is one of those bets that I won't be mad at either outcome because I'll lose my bet. But if Moicano wins, I'll still be happy because then we have a next title contender.
Yeah, okay, so we have our first head-to-head of the season. I went the other way. Right. I'm going Moicano at, what is he at? Minus 135. Yeah, I was going to go Jose Aldo. People know that ever since and honestly, I was thinking about it too recently. In the last like 3 years, I really have no reason to not like Jose Aldo. It was really just like the 2 years after the Conor McGregor loss when he was just like whining all the time. Yeah, that just soured me, and it was a very little known fact about myself. Like if I get soured, like I'm out on you. It's very hard to redeem yourself. In MMA context, like I think the only person that's done it to date has probably been like Tyron Woodley. Like where I was like out on Tyron Woodley, like hard out, and now I am back in on Tyron Woodley. So it's very hard to like run, and so I just think Jose Aldo fell in the gray area where I just don't like him. The story, I mean, back in WEC days, I was the biggest Jose Aldo stan of all time. The reason I flip flop, so I was gonna go for all the reasons that you said. I was like, this adds up to just Jose coming in, body shot Jose. I mean, Moicano's a tall, gangly dude. And then I start reading more into the Jose Aldo, like, I'm comfortable with my life. Like, I could retire today, but it would be bad not to retire. Like, he sounds like a mental basket case still. Yeah. Like, I don't know if this is just what's getting lost in translation because he still refuses to speak English after 14 years of fighting. But in America, it just all sounds like he's so unsure of just, like, what he wants to be to himself.
I think he is sure. What he's doing is just playing like possum, saying like, "Oh, I'm retiring. I'm happy with life," because he's waiting for us to just beg him to come back to the UFC. So right now he's like the ex-girlfriend that he's like, "Oh, maybe I'll see you at the bar," and just wears high heels and a red dress and was like, "Oh, did you notice me?"
Yeah, but then he's also got to me when he's pulling I'm trying to think of what he was talking about with the belt, where he's like, oh, well, I'll fight whoever it is, even if it's for the belt, and then I'll beat them, but I'm leaving anyway. And then, like, 2 days later comes out and he's like, well, I'm not fighting for a belt. I don't know. Seems like a mental basket case. And then after that, when his light dimmed, then the light of Moicano's built exactly like Max Holloway basically attempts to put a pace like Max Holloway on, uses long, straight punches like Max Holloway. The big thing is he doesn't have I don't think he has the stopping power of Max Holloway, so I do not expect this to be a finish at all. But it'll be very close. Like, I don't think that this is going to be a land. Like, there's a lot of people, the people that are picking Jose Aldo think this is going to be second round TKO, it's over. The people that are picking Moicano think that this is going to be like a 30-27/30-26 landslide. Do not think that's going to be the case. It's only 3 rounds. I think that you're going to get one dominant round by Moicano, one dominant round by Aldo. I could see split decision here, but I just think that Moicano's going to edge it out on that alone. I can't. The psychological I just can't bet on a guy that doesn't seem psychologically strong.
See, Jose Aldo is going to win this fight, and then he's going to say, like, oh, I thought I was out, but now I've regained my passion, and I want another title shot. Yeah. And he's going to say, I want to redo it all over again. This gave me on the fight. Like, once he gets on the mic in front of Brazil, he's going to say, like, oh, I felt all the energy from the fans. Like, he's just playing coy. He doesn't really want to retire. At least I've went back on my own logic on that and convinced myself of this narrative, so it must be true.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. This is the best fight. This is all. I mean, the disrespect to not put this as the main event is like that is. I don't think Dana White really has anything to do with the Fight Night cards because he doesn't give a shit. But whoever put this together, like that is so disrespectful that you would even try to
the crazy
call
part.
Rafael Assuncao a main event.
You can't. Well, even so, like Assuncao versus Moraes, like, oh well, this says like who's the next title shot.
Yeah, who cares?
This very much is the same situation at 145. Like, whoever wins this fight, I would imagine, like, they're the next closest to a title
unless
shot.
Aldo wins. You can't do 3 straight fights against Holloway. It just gets a war.
That is true, but I'm saying, like, this is definitely going to show, like, who's the number one, I guess, like, contender. They're not going to give him...
Brian Ortega.
Yeah, that's not Brian Ortega, pretty much. So I can't imagine this next fight, which I did take... Moraes and Assuncao are really meeting more.
You got that in the car.
I took that one only because Moraes is one of those fighters for me where like I bet on him the last like 3 times and they've always come up W's. Like this, he's just the fighter. He's just been
he's your guy.
Yeah, he's my guy. And once you get on a guy like that, you have to keep riding the wave. So I think I bet on him the first time.
Dennis.
So I think I bet on Moraes every single time. Moraes, Dodson, Aljamain, and Jimmy Rivera. And so I'm 3-1. I'm riding the hot streak. I'm going with Moraes again.
Never mind.
When it was at like at one point it was like minus 230.
Yes,
so
that's why I said no. That was like 2 days ago.
Yeah,
that's why I said that was a bad bargain. Okay, if it's at that, then that's fine. I was just saying the value there to try to pick a guy that's minus 230 in a fight that could easily become. Oh, fuck. I didn't even realize that it's going to be 25 minutes of a... Like, if Assuncao wins, it's going to be just 25 minutes of me, like, trying to come up with excuses to go to the bathroom because I'm so bored. But if Moraes wins, it's going to be, like, 20 minutes of me trying to come up with excuses to go to the bathroom because Moraes will do something for maybe 5 total minutes.
Yeah.
And I was thinking, it is not worth investing my time in a narrow, razor-thin decision fight like that.
That will probably
at
be
minus
boring.
220. Well, that, and also just to bet on somebody that's minus 220 or whatever he was 2 days ago, it's not, like, he's probably going to win, but it's probably going to be really close. I didn't like the value at 220 there, but at that's...
If it was like at
that makes more
if it was
sense.
at like Assuncao plus 200, I was thinking about taking him, but I think more likely than not, Moraes will win. It's just going to be close, but I still like my odds.
Yeah, no, that's much better. I honestly, genuinely thought that was, I thought it was like minus 220 for Moraes, and there was no way I was touching that. Now on to the fun stuff, though.
Yes.
American fans, it's Super Bowl weekend.
What number is it? 52. I can't read Roman numerals.
How many
shit.
Super Bowls is Tom Brady to? And just add like 4, and then it's that. Prop betting at the Super Bowl is like the best thing ever. You need 0 skill whatsoever.
But it allows you to feel like a genius when you get it right.
When you get them right. And the other thing, too, it's not a lot, like, it's very, what I've also found, and I read this the other day, I don't know why I ever didn't make sense of this, but it's like, the reason the lines are also wonky is because, like, what data is Vegas going to use to go off of these? It's very difficult for them to, like, actually generate a line, so sometimes you get just weird-ass lines. And so we are going to give you, we think we both have 3.
Yeah. My favorite part about this whole thing is it's basically just gambling bingo. You get like 9 or 10 bets, and then you're like, oh, I won one as soon as they hit. So.
And if you're at a Super Bowl party, this is how you identify who your friends at that party are going to be.
Exactly.
If you are betting on the Super Bowl props and you see other people, like, you want to find, if you go to a party that you don't know anybody at, or you know limited people at, and you, as soon as the national anthem starts, you kind of slip your phone out of your pocket, start that stopwatch, and you see like 2 or 3 other people do the same
look
thing.
around the room.
Those are going to be your people at that party.
Yeah, you probably fuck those people.
Yeah, then look at the people that are looking at those people without checking their phone stopwatch. You don't want to talk to those people at your party. They're going to be miserable to be around.
You could easily identify, like, split the line in half of the party. If you see the people gambling, you're like, those are my friends. If you see the people that say, quiet down during the commercials, you know whose drink to spit in. Because fuck those people.
Yeah. Well, except be quiet during the Endgame trailer.
Yeah,
Dude,
exactly.
If you speak during that, defend yourself.
Thanos is coming. All right, I guess I'll start. This one I like. I'm a man of trends. And so for the... you got to bet the coin toss. All right? It's the easiest bet.
I do and get it wrong every year.
I know. Well, no, I've been pretty hot. So is Tails. They were on a 4-game win streak until last year where they lost heads. Their ever feisty opponent. Yeah. So I'm thinking they're going to get back in the win column this year, get back to their dynasty. Tom Brady doesn't lose in Tails years. So I don't know if that's true, but I don't know. He lost last year at heads, and I think, well, a little foreshadowing what I think. Right?
Interesting analysis. My number one, I considered making this my lock of the week. Also,
Tails.
For the record, we're allowing locks to be on the Super Bowl props this week.
And
a
also,
little bit of a wild card week. It's not every week that you get a Super Bowl.
Yeah. Also, our locks were going for double units. For everything else, we've been taking for 100. Our locks of the week, you got to take for 200
too. Mm-hmm. That just to give you the extra token of confidence that will come bearing. Considered making this my lock of the week at -120. The number of plays that Tony Romo will correctly predict before the snap, over 7.5. He needs to get 8 plays correct. What is my logic for this? My logic for this is I watched one single drive of the Patriots game last week where he called it 4 times in a row on one drive in the 2-minute drill. You're halfway home, and that drive took about 1 minute and 45 seconds.
True.
If you don't think that, break it down like this. Let's do some simple math for you. Tony Romo needs to get 1 offensive play correct for each team per quarter, and you win that bet. That's all he has to do.
That's a lot, though.
All he does is just say, okay, this guy's going to slant route over the middle. Bam. And the ones that he's the best at is guy motions off, says it's going to be a run to the right. Mm-hmm. All the guys to do is run right to center. Now, if your book is finicky on how they judge, like, oh, well, he wasn't running outside the tackle, hand up, that's on me. I will own losing that bet and getting screwed. However, if run right or run left or QB sneak is a call on the run plays, you got 4 of those in the bag easy. All you need to do is get 4 targeted picks.
Yeah.
I'm so confident in that. Like I said, considered making it my lock, but it is not.
See, for me, like, I'm all big on fixes, and so I could maybe buy that one because I have a theory that they've just been feeding him the plays to impress people.
I'm not against that theory.
So I think the fix is in. People have been eating it up. They're seeing everyone on social media. They're going to want some big numbers on the Super Bowl. They're giving him at least 20 plays. They might as well just give him the playbook at this point.
Yeah.
For my next pick, this is a prop bet. So Aaron Donald has been an absolute monster all year. No one could deny this. Right now, they have the over-under on how many tackles at 3.5. Fucking pound. That's just tackles. He might have that in sacks. Fucking over 3.5 sacks. And also, I do like this bet because the 0.5, like, these are one of the, few areas where you can actually push because then it counts like half tackles and stuff.
Yeah.
So I all 3.5, feel like that's disrespectfully low.
Yeah, that is. Okay, the other thing that's disrespectfully low is Tom Brady's...
My T count.
The size of my penis. No, Tom Brady's rushing yard total is last time I checked is at 1.5. 1.5. It's the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
There's no planet in which this game transpires over 60 minutes and Tom Brady either doesn't get out of the pocket pulls a John Elway, gets helicoptered, or just QB sneaks for that 4th and 1 and gets up and just spikes the ball yelling, let's go.
He did have a 17-yard game the other day. in the
Rushing?
Kansas City. I think he had like a 9-yard followed by an 8-yard.
Yeah, exactly. There's no planet, dude. 2 yard. That's like a generous QB sneak. And if you don't,
he's got at least one QB sneak in him, like a 4th down. So there's the 1 yard. It's the half that I'm scared about. If he doesn't leave the pocket, I don't know if they do 2 QB sneaks.
I know, but I can easily see the 1 QB sneak going for 2 yards.
And also, you got to think about sacks because that counts, right?
No, I think that actually counts on your passing yard. I forgot how that works. It's stupid, but it makes no sense. Like in college, it counts on your rushing yards. I don't know how that works.
Also, that's just a fun bet to have, just because
you only need so many.
Yeah, when it's just like Eli Manning 2 yards, you're like, yes,
yes. So that was another one that I'm taking.
No, that's not bad. And that brings me to my lock of the week. So for double units,
I think that we're gonna
the easiest lock of all time. Tom Brady does not lose in Super Bowls. Oh, it's a fact. Except for when he does.
He's never lost one.
Except for when he does. But this one, he's not going to lose. Tom Brady, if you've heard any interviews about him, it's the cockiness. It's everything. Maybe Barstool Sports just swayed me over on this. Patriots, -2.5. Put it in the books. Tom Brady's getting his, 6th ring. He's tying it all up. I've made the mistake in the past of betting against Tom Brady. Not going to let that happen again. I don't know. They barely lose back-to-back games. He's not going to lose back-to-back Super Bowls.
All right, cool. Betting on the game is a lock of the week, but I'm the national anthem over.
Oh,
I told you. I said it on the podcast this week. Sticking by that statement today. It is 1 minute and 47 seconds.
That's low.
That is at -170. That is low, low, low. Gladys Knight, not Aretha Franklin.
Oh, are you kidding me? When you said Gladys Knight right there, in my head it registered like, I got it right. And then it's like, no that's the
you thought it was Aretha Franklin. Little bonus bet for you, not going on my card this week. I got 2 bonus bets, actually. Not going on the card. But, however, she's like a soul sister. I did a little Google research.
I love on the podcast you said, I think they have some gospel singer. Gladys Knight is not a gospel singer.
I don't know, man. I forgot. And then you thought it was Aretha Franklin.
True. Who might be dead.
Wearing a dress. You've got I think it's like -240 to be wearing dress, skirt, gown, or it's basically like anything other than a pantsuit.
Oh,
and as like a soul singer,
that's easy money.
Take that to the bank as well. But the over on the national anthem, she's also done a couple of interviews saying she wants this to be extra special. We're still living in Trump's America, so you know that the NFL is big. NFL players are big anti-Trump. Want to have some big impact on that. She's gonna belt this, as most people do. I'm looking for like a 158 to 202 range coming in at the final time here. I take the over straight to the bank.
I like that a lot. I like I'm dead ass taking the crown, or not the crown, the gown.
It's -240. It's heavy, but it's like she would literally need to come out to sing the national anthem in a pantsuit.
She doesn't even own a pantsuit.
Yeah. Oh, actually, I googled it. She has done some performances in a pantsuit, but it's the suit. I mean, she's coming out in a gown, like a dress. Like that's just how it's going to work.
I'm also taking...
It's Atlanta, East Coast. It's going to be dark out.
I'm also taking the prop bet, if it's out there, if she's going to take a kneel during the anthem.
No, there is. Will a player take a knee during the anthem? Ooh. And I think it's yes is at like +350. Not a bad fish there. Here's my other big bonus dog of the week. First song performed by Maroon 5 at halftime, One More Night. That little that is like a great Super Bowl halftime starter.
The only problem is, I think there's some controversy. They may have not confirmed if they're still doing it. Like as of like this week, they had like.
If it's Travis Scott, it's sicko mode. I don't care what the minus is. Put all your money on that. I do not care what it is. Could you imagine opening the Super Bowl halftime show? Dude, that'd be badass.
I would just start moshing in whatever party, just straight up flipping tables.
No, but I was saying it's that, or I mean, that's got to be it. Like I don't see Maroon 5 having a better song than that, unless you were me picking the set list, in which case I would go Sunday Morning.
Yeah. I'm trying to think. I don't even know if I guess I definitely know enough Maroon 5 songs, but I'm not sure.
Yeah, it's not going to be Payphone. Not going to be Animals.
Maybe
not going to be Maps.
Maybe like an old school. It might be Maps. I'm going to have to do my research on this one.
I just think that, that, it's dark. They open up some fog. Adam Levine comes out and an all-leather gimp suit.
He's going to be looking like sex out there. I love it.
That's it. So those are not going on but the national anthem over. Cash that in.
So we're going to be posting these. We'll make sure we put the Super Bowl bets up right before. We'll tweet them out, as well as the addition, because those aren't going to be the only things I'm betting on. So
I'm adding much more, but we didn't want to get. This is a MMA betting show that we just thought, since it's a big deal, we dabble in a little football. We'll do the same thing in March Madness, dabble, but it's not a March Madness and Super Bowl betting show dabbling in MMA. Got to keep it consistent.
All right, guys. Thanks for tuning in. Tweet us any bets that you guys love. Matt, find me at BroLeva. Nick, you can find him at _a guy in a gi. Thanks. Bye.